How you make a pruning cut is crucial. Properly made cuts will seal over quickly and reduce the chances that insects or disease can enter the wound. To make a good cut, your first rule of thumb is to slant your pruning tool to make a 45-degree angle. Creating a slope to your cut allows the cut stem to drain moisture from rain or heavy dew. If you make cuts that are flat and blunt, the stem can collect rain, which can lead to disease and decay. Pay attention to where the buds are and prune to retain outward-facing buds. This avoids the plant growing in on itself and creating a dense interior and branches that rub against each other when the wind blows. As you might recall, a bud is a small, undeveloped leaf, flower, or shoot. Buds are the part of the plant that will continue to grow after pruning. That's why it's important to make cuts that preserve the buds. One type of improper pruning cut is when you cut too close to a bud, like shown here. A nicked or damaged bud is likely to wither and die. Another type of improper cut is when you cut too high, which leaves stubs that do not seal over. Stubs typically die back to the next bud and create an entrance into that plant for pathogens or insects. A proper cut is neither too low nor too high. Make your cut roughly 1/4 of an inch above the bud at a 45-degree angle away from the bud. Also, make your cut 1/4 of an inch above an outward or side-facing bud. This directs the resulting growth to extend away from the plant. If the growth is directed inwards, you risk creating a dense interior that leaves the plant less open to air and sunlight. There are two basic pruning cuts: branch removal and heading cuts. A branch removal cut is the most discreet method of pruning and can be applied to both trees and shrubs. As the name implies, a branch removal cut cuts a branch or stem back to its point of origin. That point of origin can be a side branch, a main branch, the trunk, or the soil line. The placement of your cut will depend on the type of plant and how it's growing. If you have shrubs that have a suckering growth habit, remove the largest, oldest stems close to the ground. If your shrub grows more like a tree with one or a few main stems coming up from the ground, remove out of proportion growth by cutting it back to its point of origin on one of the main stems. Branch removal opens plants up to sunlight and air circulation. It also fosters better blooming by removing old, less productive wood. By strategically planning branch removal, you can maintain the plant's natural growth habit and influence the direction of new growth. Branch removal can also help achieve significant size reduction. The second basic type of pruning cut is called a heading cut. Unlike branch removal, which removes an entire stem or branch, heading cuts only remove the buds found at the end of the plant stem. To make a heading cut, simply clip off the ends of the branches back to a bud or a side branch. After you make your heading cuts, the buds that remain will grow. Heading cuts are an effective way for controlling the way a plant grows or modifying its shape. This method can also be used for increasing a plant's density or thickness. Shearing is a type of heading cut. It involves merely making a series of heading cuts in one pass. It's like giving your plant a crew cut. Some plants can be successfully sheared into hedges or topiaries. Other plants become weak and unattractive when sheared. The forsythia on the left has been sheared, but shearing is not the preferred pruning method for this plant. The forsythia on the right has been pruned by branch removal, that is by removing the biggest, oldest stems back to within a few inches of the ground. Removing those stems at ground level opens the plant to more air and sunlight. Depending on the time of year and type of plant, shearing can also reduce flowering. This shows the resulting growth the following spring on the same two forsythia plants. Let's review how to make cuts. Slant your blade so that the branch or stem is cut at a 45-degree angle. Position the slope of the cut away from the bud. Make your cuts roughly 1/4 of an inch above a bud. Make your cuts above an outward-facing bud. Remember, properly made cuts will seal over quickly and reduce the chances that insects or disease can enter the wound.